Hello. Oh, hang on. Give me a second. Where's the game? Which one's the game? That is. Come on, there we go. There's the game working. And we hide this. And get to see how much time I spent in this game. Very, very briefly. We put on the border. And then we put on the camera. Oh no, I forgot my light. Hang on. Give me a second. I forgot my light. 2 seconds. Ah! Quickly turn on my light. Okay, light is on. The light is on. Okay. Professional streamer. Professional. Absolute professional streamer. There we go. I'm no longer in darkness. Hello everybody, how's it going? Give me a couple more seconds to get all set up and ready and stuff. Because Discord broke. So I have a few more things to do and then we'll be fine. I'll mute that. And where's Discord? There, speaking of. Hello?
Well, hello.
Hey, Discord breaking did not mess up sound for you, thank God.
I mean, you got reconnected pretty quickly, so
Yeah,
I thought it was me. I thought it was me that got disconnected.
No, I know what's doing it though. There's a certain server that I promote into, and it's like that. It's so busy and it's so big that it's like there's just too many people talking at the same time. It lags everywhere else. I'm like, you know something? It might be just worth it to leave the server and promote everywhere else instead. But I'm part of too many servers that I promote into. That's my problem. I don't need to be in half of these servers because the only thing I do is in them is promote, and I feel bad. I feel bad. But as like a small content creator, that's all you kind of can do. Why is that? Is my frame weird? It's only weird here. Yeah, it's only weird on YouTube. Well, it's gonna be weird on YouTube. I don't want to fix it. Right. Are you ready, Claria?
Yep.
You ready to see the carnage and mayhem that we're about to get ourselves into? Because it's gonna be good. Oh, better. You know something? It better be good. Better not let us down.
Jesus Christ.
We need that. Yeah, okay. I won't be able to see emotes. It's fine. This is temporary. Yes, we're good. We're good. Can the game be heard?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. Right. Where do I need to go for this thing? I will explain. Where do I need to go? Maribel. You gonna explain? Come to the CEO office in the IBC. Okay. Gosh, I'm kind of used to Trails of Cold Steel the last 2 days. It feels weird coming back to this.
That is true.
I think I need to talk to this person first. Thank you for coming, SSS. You must be here for Miss Cross's request, correct? Exactly. That's what we were just about to ask you about. Is it true Belle's antique dolls have been stolen? Those would be the
ones
oh,
from.
sorry, I forgot. This is what happens when Amber forgets things.
Alright. So, those would be the ones from Rosenberg Studio, would they not?
Yes, you're both correct. Miss Cross has been humbly distraught ever since. I know this is on short notice, but could you please see to her request now? Let's catch the thief. I have a feeling I know what this is going to involve. Looking at Jess, going, why would you do this to me? Of course, we'd be glad to help. Maribel, oh.
Maribel has done so much for us that we could not refuse in good conscience.
This is gonna happen a lot, isn't it? I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, thank goodness. Here, first you'll need this card. Okay. What is this? It's an IBC authentication card. We had one like this before. We were able to access the other floors in the building from the elevator with it. In other words, part of the building's security system is. This isn't the largest bank on the continent for nothing. This card will give you access to the same floors your previous ones from the spring did. You'll find Miss Cross in the CEO's office on the 16th floor, so please head there. We will. Thanks, Lipi. I'll give you... Do you want to guess? Do you want to take a random guess on who our thief is, Eclaria, with all the knowledge that you have so far?
Sorry, I'm at that point where I just pinpoint every single purple hair person and just blame it on them right now. Like, seriously. Like, what's with all the villains with purple hair?
Does he? I can't remember his hair color. He's the bane of my existence. It's me, Belle. Please come in. Excuse us. It's good to see you again, Belle. Hello, Ellie. Special Support Section. I heard that you got back into town last night. Tio, how's it been?
I'm doing fine.
Glad to hear it. As you know, the trade conference begins later today, so I know how busy you all are. I wish you luck this afternoon. Thanks. Well, we'll do what we can. Are you not going to be heading? Are you not going to be heading to the Orcus Tower yourself? That's right. I can't very well leave this pile of work my father left alone. He's on his own when it comes to handling all of his conference duties. So on that note, I think I owe you all an apology. Given you were all called in as security for the conference, perhaps I should not have requested you on such short notice. Don't worry about Maribel. You've helped the SSS a lot, quite a lot. So this is the least we could do to pay you back. So on some of those antique dollies, you have got hijacked, right? Mind giving us the skinny? But of course, as you should know, I am an avid collector of Reisenberg dolls for years. I, I've been keeping a total of 5 of them in my personal room here in the IBC. However, someone took the opportunity to steal them late last night while I was away on business.
5 Rosenberg dolls. That would mean...
They must be worth a fortune. The larger one fetches. The large ones fetch for at least a few million mira at an auction. Yes, this is not a matter of monetary loss. I'm a mother who's had her children kidnapped from her, and I want the despicable thief to be torn limb from limb in the middle of the Harbor District. Easy now,
Jesus
Maribel.
Christ.
By personal room, you mean the one that's next door, right? That would mean the thief slipped past the ABC's world-class security. How is this possible? I thought it was strange too, but I don't have a perfect answer for your question. However, I'm also not surprised once I found out what was left at the crime scene. I understood perfectly how it happened.
What was left behind? What do you mean?
I think it would be simple if I just showed you. Here, take this. It's a love letter. What is this?
Letter, excuse me?
Yeah. A calling card from Phantom Thief B. Why, Jess? Why do you torture me? Why? Why? I should have known when Jess wanted me to do this quest on stream that it had to be Phantom Thief B. Indeed it is. The elusive thief that has stolen countless works of art from across the continent. Rumor has it he uses a mysterious magic to steal his marks, and he always leaves his calling card at the scene. Infiltrating the IBC's building is something only he could pull off. You all dealt with one of his thefts earlier this year, didn't you? You did? He stole
the statue from the former City Hall building. In the end, we could not capture him.
He was standing right beside us, talking to us, and we could not capture him. He just left. We just let him walk away. So he's back in Crossville. You four were getting into all kinds of crazy hijinks before we joined, weren't you? So, what does this card say? Allow me. Dear ladies and gentlemen of the special support section, the 5 young girls whom the young maiden adores are in my comprehensive custody. Should you desire their freedom, you must cast open each of their cases with the keys of truth. Oh my fucking god, why? The first cage lies within the city. Search the throne of the Casburgery famed century. Phantom Thief B. See, I told you it was a love letter.
Oh, lovely, wonderful.
So lovely. So now that you know what now, do you understand why I had no choice but to call you here? Yeah, but this is a challenge from Phantom Thief B directly to the SSS. There's no other choice. You stole 5 precious dolls from something this petty. This guy is truly a nutjob. I agree! Whatever his reason is, he didn't have the involved Maribel with... we ain't overlooking this one. I wholeheartedly agree. Those Rosenberg dolls mean the world to Belle. Thank you, Ellie. I'll be counting on all of you. Before we begin the investigation, I want us to go over what the calling card says again. First, the 5 young girls part. We can chalk that up to the dolls themselves. Then
the 5 cages would be the 5 spots where he hid the dolls.
in other words, we're likely have to find 5 locations that could be that could be scattered anywhere. I can already see how difficult this is going to be. Luckily, we can limit this one to the city at least. Apparently, it's at the throne of the Cossenbury famed sentry. Anyone have any ideas? Famed sentry. I feel as if I heard something along those lines recently. Anyway, let's not overthink it too much and get searching the most logical spots. I'm expecting great things yet again, SSS. I'll be waiting for you to bring my precious lost children home. We won't let you down, Maribel. I'll write the clue in the detective notebook for good measure. We can use this as a basis to begin our investigation. It's fine. Amber has a guide. This is fine.
This is fine.
I don't need anything. I know where all the feckin' dolls are. It's fine. I am not figuring out this fecker's clues. No shot. I will forever look up guides when it involves Phantom DFB because I can. Didn't we hear Chief Sergei's old nickname, Sergei the Sentinel? Would that mean the desk and the chair is the famed sanctuary's throne? It's worth a shot. Let's take a look. There's something under the desk. Let me try taking it out. What the? Is that a trunk? It reminds me of the one Kia was in when you found her in the Shorzer auction. I bet he's taunting us by making this the first location. Yeah, he even threw the old chief's nickname into the mix. Anyway, let's check it out. A card was affixed to the backside of the trunk. I'm not reading that. Go away.
There is no mistaking it.
I'm too used to it.
There is no mistaking it. It's fine. This is a genuine Rosenberg doll.
Yes, I've seen it once before. It's a doll named Kanana, that Belle loves dearly. She names her dolls. Even Maribel has a cute side to her, doesn't she? I'm a little surprised he'd bother keeping something he stole in a trunk like this, though. Phantom Thief B is supposedly to have some deep
Reverence?
Thank you. For beauty, right? Maybe it's his way of showing respect. Or maybe it's his way of messing with us. Have you ever thought of this? That he's just messing with us? All day, every day? For the second card, it sounds like we're going to have to go outside the city limits this time. Sheesh, we're going to be running around the whole damn state at this rate. Our hints are the harvester's property and off the Ramshack Road. Given the correlation, it must be somewhere that's the parallel opposite to a modern place in like Crossbell City. That sounds like the right track. Let's take the first doll with us and get looking for the second. Yeah, let's go. I named my dolls, or my plushes, when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to just like, I don't know. I always thought of probably like giving them names, but I just ended up never doing it.
Oh shit, where's the car? Oh, where is the car? Oh, it might be out here. Nope, not out here. Wrong one. I gotta find my car because I actually don't know where I left it. Give me a second. There it is. Found it. So we need to go here. I'm glad I remembered where I parked the car. The gate is open. As I recall, this property was owned by the Emery village and isn't normally open to the public.
Perhaps they left it unlocked.
Surely not on purpose, right? Either way, check it out. Monsters wandered in again. Watch your step while we're looking around. Aye aye, Captain. The second trunk is here of all places. The harvester's property and off the Ramshack Road. As I recall, Chief Tolta said the village uses this place as a storehouse for materials. So it must have been Phantom Thief B who opened the gate without permission. He stirs up trouble wherever he goes, doesn't he? Yes. Anyway, let's take a look. Another doll. Yeah, I'm not reading your notes, dude. Belle calls this doll Loti. I could never mistake this one. You got another one of these crazy riddles. The goddess shimmering oh. I'm just gonna give up.
The goddess shining visage. Perhaps that is our best hint. I do not know what to make of the bathed in part, however. It would have to mean that it is very large, correct?
Let's go and take a look around. There's might be somewhere that fits that perfectly. Okay. Let her doll down. Can you imagine if I couldn't find my car and where I parked
Oh god.
it? We'd have to do without the car for the entire game. It's too pretty and too handy.
It's too pretty.
So we know Reese's true identity now. I told you about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's apparently somewhere around here. Is it up here or something? Oh no, I have to speak to him. Okay, cool. Welcome. Do you need something from me? If it isn't the sermon you're after, I can make time for you. Sorry, that's not why we're here today. Phantom Thief Beam mentioned the goddess shimmering visage. Maybe it was referring to the stained glass window here?
which would make the one in the clue.
I don't understand what's happening right now. If you have business with me, please state it clearly. Sorry, sir. Archbishop Erdunia, could you do us a favor and check under the altar? Why would I do that? Settle down. We aren't doing anything suspicious.
Yeah, that's what all suspicious people say.
The SS explained their mission to the Archbishop. Searched under the altar. Here it is. Card affixed to the trunk. Another love letter from Phantom Thief B. This must be Mistal. Belle loves this one. That brings us up to 3 dolls. When did something like this get put here? I do leave for business on occasion, but not long enough for someone to do this. The goddess works in mysterious ways. How true is that? This clue is the perplexing as the rest. If we interpreted the ramparts to be some sort of defensive structure, and include the western part in that, we get the defensive structure in the west that is in, oh my god, interpretation, at least. There's also the road of iron that snakes under the skirt. I'm not sure what that means. Perhaps I almost read it again. I'm not. I'm bad.
Perhaps this is another figure of speech.
My brain is asleep, Clary. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Mine is too, honestly.
That's a safe assumption. Alright, let's take this trunk with us and begin our search for the next one. Phantom Thief B, I've heard of his exploits before. He sounds like quite the scoundrel. As a man of the goddess above, I could never support someone like him.
Okay, but supporting the goddess is kind of sus too, you know.
For officers, please bring this evildoer to justice. We will do our best.
Cool.
Okay. Fun. Bye. Nice talking to you.
Yosh, 行くか。どこに行こうかな。
よし。
さあ、行くぞ。到着だ。
Okay. Let's see if Claria is here.
Who? Oh.
Have you? Yeah, there she is.
Hello. Commander Bells and the Deputy Commander Douglas are in the counterterrorism meeting right now. Please don't disturb them.
Yes, Claria.
Oh my gosh. Those words.
I will obey the words of Warrant Officer Clara. Right. How do I get this one? I am in the right place, right? I don't know, hang on. Yeah, no, I'm in the right place. I somehow have to get to the hidden track's left side. Oh, down here. Yep. Woo! Look at us on the train tracks. We should avoid walking on the tracks as much as possible. Let's turn back. No, but I want to go to Erebonia! No! So close. Okay. There it is. How did this get here? The clue on the card said the road of iron that snakes under the skirt of the western ramparts. So the iron road is the freight line and the ramparts is Baldur Gate. We should probably open the trunk here. How about we move to up onto the platform? Okay, let's carefully carry it carefully. This is the ball name. The name. Look at that name.
Really
Also,
now.
welcome in, Kaz Aquila. Hi, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Killa. Hi, Cass.
This is Belle's doll, Sharon.
Very nice. What a beautiful name.
Yeah, we don't know another Sharon that's currently on the other side.
No.
Maybe she uses this doll to stalk us.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
I'm sure of it. We're at 4 out of 5, right?
All that remains is the final doll mentioned on the card.
What did IGN do? Craze, I'm not being
IGN
false.
in-game name.
Oh, in-game name.
Not out for you didn't put your in-game name.
Isn't your in-game name Hero?
Yeah, but his Twitch name is Matt Dane.
I know, but it's hard because I see a name and I'll say the name. You know, I gotta get used to saying your in-game name. I'm sorry, Hero. I'll try and remember, but my brain it needs you to remind me. All that remains is oh, you've read this. Sorry. A soaring tower in the city. It has to be talking about the tall building, right? Would that be Orcus Tower? I believe Orcus Tower has 40 floors above ground. It has 40 floors above ground. But if the summit is at 16, then maybe, or it's talking about somewhere else. And how can we descend by 21 from 16? That's probably the key to the riddle. There is also perhaps a bit about the Vesta of otherworldly windows. We should consider that as well. Yet again, it's some sort of metaphor. Let's go look around the city and think about the clue. It's fine, I know exactly where this is.
Yeah, no need for thinking. Brain hurts. Just go. Take your answer.
Just go. Let's just get this over with so that we can go to the good stuff, which is the conference. You need to go to the good stuff.
Wait, this is still a side quest.
Yeah,
right?
this is a side quest.
Sometimes I feel like they really need to shorten the side quest life.
I'm so smart. I'm totally not looking at a guide. I'm so smart.
Yeah. Oh, never. That would be cheating.
Yeah, totally cheating. There it is, the final chunk. In the soaring tower, descended. Oh.
In the soaring tower, descend from the summit of 16 by 21 steps and go to the vista of otherworldly windows. If you descend from the 16th floor of the IBC building to the 5th basement floor, there's a difference of 21 floors total.
I'm not doing math.
I can't. When there's like math question involving like descending and ascending, I just give up.
Yeah.
I just say like, you know what?
Give me a guide.
Yeah. In the vista of otherworldly windows, that must refer to these terminal monitors that track data from the Orbital network.
This is the only place that makes sense. Let's take a look inside. This is Belle's favorite doll, Alice. There it is, carried back like usual. This must be the end of a scavenger hunt. That's the end of that then. That was exhausting. Huh? What's up? Something wrong? This is the alert indicating that some orbital mail came in. Wait, is that Mistress's doll? Yeah, it was sitting right here. How did you guys not see it?
I'm more concerned about the timing of that orbital mail. May I take a look?
Go ahead, but the way you say that sounds ominous. Click, click, click. What's going on to you?
The sender is Phantom TV. Of course
What?
it's...
Phantom Thief B, you gotta be kidding. On the worlds could he have sent that? Would you mind opening it to you?
Roger.
From Phantom Thief B, subject, nothing. To the lovely ladies and gentlemen of the Special Support Section, first, allow me to express my gratitude for having entertained me thus far. Next, my sincerest apologies to the doll's owner, Miss Maribel Cross, and their creator, Mistress Gerberg?
What? My
For my
sincere apologies to the doll's owner.
Yeah.
Meister George?
Yeah.
I
for
guess
my
it's George.
being so impolite. However, rest assured that I took the utmost care to not damage these beautiful works of art while they were in my care. Now, I will excuse myself from these lands before long. Thank you once again, and farewell, Special Support Section. Enforcer number 10 of the Society of Ouroboros, the Phantom Thief Blanc, looks forward to your continued growth and praise to the goddess grants you luck. P.S. This orbital mail will automatically be automatically deleted and be impossible to be saved or traced. Phantom Thief B. Wait. What? Is he serious? He's respectful, I'll give him that. Who'd have thought that everyone's favorite Phantom Thief is actually an enforcer of Ouroboros? Yeah, he just outright tells us. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be a secret. What are you doing? That's right. He hinted at being friends with Reen before, didn't he? Tio, is this really impossible to track? Where did this mail come from? Yeah, surely there must be some sort of clue we can glean from it.
I have been trying, but it has not been going well. The mail source data started deleting itself the second we opened it. Fortunately, it has not affected the terminals. However, recovery is slightly impossible.
Well, shoot. Burglar Boy really did cover all his bases. Seeing all this reminds me we also know diddly squat about the hacker that trapped us in the geofront yesterday. Good point. Whoever was responsible has a vast amount of technological at their disposal, and they know how to use it. I'm not sure I fully understand what's happening. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Clay, we have to verify that this branch didn't have an impact on any of the data. Oh yeah, he could have left a virus on our system. Sorry guys, we have to get back to work. Well, at the end of the day, we did manage to recover the Reisenberg dolls. Let's go return them to Maribel. I agree. Now I understand what happened. Still, it's a shock to hear the legendary Phantom Thief be as a member of Ouroboros. If that's true, it's no wonder he eluded capture for so long as he has. However, in the event he is captured, I'll march to his jail cell and carry out his execution myself. Oh my god. I think I just peed myself.
Disgusting.
I'm sorry, Martha. We wanted to capture him just as much as you did. I'll have to settle it with simply returning your dolls. The SSS handed over the 5 trunks holding the Rosenberg dolls to Maribel. Welcome home, Alice, Karen, Litty, Mistel, and Sharon. Very well. I have no complaints or further comments to add at this time. All that matters is that my precious Rosenberg dolls have come home safe and sound. And a long trip home at that. Phantom Thief B is nothing but, if not thorough. He went through the trouble of putting them in sturdy trunks and scattering them in safe locations around the state. That is a lot of work, now that you mention it.
They would have been better off had he not stolen them in the first place.
Yeah, there's that too. Clearly, we have to make further improvements to the security to ensure this never happens again. I'm going to have our security department working harder than ever before. They could have learned a thing or two from the SSS. You all were a great help. Don't mention it, Belle. That's what friends are for. Well, wait. Last time this happened... No. Can't be. Is something wrong, Light? What are you looking at me like that for? Let me explain. The first Phantom Thief beat case we solved ended with him disguising himself as a client. Holy smokes! I forgot all about that. Are you...
It's fine. You can just be bad.
Are you implying? Let me be more direct. Are you the real Maribel? Oh, come now, Lloyd. Where did you get off being so rude in my office after I went out of my way to thank you? I'm sorry. There was no faking it. This is the real Maribel. Oh, Lloyd. Just look at how casual their friendship is. Oh yes, this is true friendship right here. Afterwards, Lloyd and the others went to the first floor and returned their authorization card to the reception desk. Did it. Alright, let's hand these in and go to the tower. It's me, MSQ time. Prepare for lots of reading. Right, let me remind myself of your characters. You have Tio, Lecter, Oliver.
Maribel was actually also, like, I was supposed to voice Maribel as well.
Was it? Were you? Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops. Never mind. If she shows up in the tower, you can do her in the tower, cause I'll have.
Yeah, I'll just take over. I think you already like voiced like how many characters, like the entire SSS team except for you.
Yeah, I do the entirety of this cast except for Tio.
Yeah.
So I also have Zeke. I have the princess. You have the princess's bodyguard.
Yeah.
You have Oliver, and I have Mueller.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now that that's done, I'm gonna quickly tab out and make sure that I can see stuff. I can see chat better now. Chat, I can read you better. Yay! You better
read you.
You better behave now. I can see you. Beware. The streamer can see you and read. I think you guys are talking amongst yourselves in the chat, which is all good. All right.
Yeah, they're talking about D&D stuff.
D&D stuff. Ooh. Good stuff. Yes, I forgot about this. Look at this. I was telling you about this the last time. Isn't this so cute?
Adorable.
He's sitting out here while Kia's in the library. It's just so cute. Alright. I am not ready. Duh.
I could see the tower clearly from my airship before I landed at the airport. It is even grander seeing it up close.
That's exactly how we felt yesterday. It's only been a day, and it already feels like Crossbow has a new landmark. Yeah, they don't. But don't you think it's a little too big? We're gonna use all the floors for. What are you gonna use all the floors for? It's not like the old City Hall building. It was too small or something. True, but the tower is going to house several other facilities. In addition to housing the administration of the city and the state, the floors dedicated to international trade, cultural exchange. The aim was to make it the center of the West Sumeria itself. Dang, talk about shooting for the moon. It makes sense when you think about it. That's why the first major event is hosting a trade conference. Don't forget, the building's opening means even more international capital is going to be flowing into Crossbow. There'll be a handy bargaining chip when they're discussing new trade arrangements, right? Yes, from what I've heard. Though it may not be limited to just financial talks. Well, what do we want to do? We're scheduled to meet Dudley on the first floor at noon. Of course, we do still have some time before then. How's about we take care of any unfinished business and prep work before we head in? We don't want to be in blind if it hits the fan this afternoon. Good point. It's not like we'll be able to go anywhere once the conference is underway. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, point of no return.
Mm-hmm. Then let us not go into... Wait, what? Then let us not go in until we have taken care of unfinished business and made our preparations.
I think we're fine.
Eh.
I think we're fine. I need to heal,
that's
but,
good.
you know, I think we're fine. We'll be fine. I'm just going for it. We're scheduled to meet Dudley on the first floor at noon. There's still a little time before we should head in. Should we head in now? It's doing the thing. Upon entering Orcas Tower, you will be unable to buy new equipment and items or upgrade your armaments. Additionally, all remaining quests that are open will close. Proceed with caution. Okay, hang on, I just want to save. There we go. Okay, now we're fine. Yes. Enter the tower. The scary ass tower. Hear the music! What the hell?
Damn, it'd be great.
It's like an orchestra beating as we walk through the doors. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow, take a look at that. It's nice, brand, and modern and luxurious. It feels more fantastic than the IBC building.
Futuristic.
Futuristic, sorry.
It's okay. Every floor is wired to the Orbo network as well. There is also a direct line to the IBC for instant updates on stock market prices.
Sweet. I heard about that. Uncle insisted on it. Figures. He still has a banking on the brain, even when he's being a statesman. All that's left is to wait for Dudley to come pick us up. There are no visitors due to the conference, so why don't we grab that sofa over there? It begins. Same day, 12 o'clock.
来ていたか。
This is you. Oh, it's auto-scrolled.
His voice.
Hey Dudley, how's it going? At least I know this is going to be you know? Hey Dudley.
Having too much fun with Dudley.
It's good to see you again.
It's noon sharp. The trade conference begins at 1 p.m.
We have an hour.
Yeah, the dignitaries will be arriving in 30 minutes.
Got it. Where should we be right now?
I would have preferred to familiarize you with the venue myself, but there's been a change of plan. I came to tell you that someone else will be showing you around.
Oh, someone else? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming today. Who the hell is this? Oh. Mayor Cross? Uncle? It's been a couple of weeks, Ellie, Lloyd. Hello there too, Wolsey, Noel. And it's been far longer since I've seen you, Randy and Tio. Welcome back. Appreciate it.
It's good to see you again.
Yes, but what are you doing here? The conference starts in less than an hour. Aren't you there are more urgent things you should be doing? Nonsense. Preparations are more or less done. We're simply waiting for the dignitaries to arrive now. I thought showing you around the building would make for a good break. Isn't that all right with you, Dudley?
You're lucky he's the mayor. See to it that you pay attention and don't do anything to embarrass yourself in front of him.
Why, Dudley? Why? You
Well,
love us,
because
really.
Dudley. Once you're done, come to the security command room on 34th floor.
Understood.
You can take it from here, Mr. Mayor. See you all soon.
You have my gratitude. He's a talented detective, but a little inflexible, isn't he? Though perhaps that's what makes him good at his job. The First Division does have a reputation of doing things by the book, after all. Ah, where are my manners? I forgot the most important step for starting our tour. Ladies and gentlemen of the SSS, welcome to Orcus Tower. Follow me if you would. Same as ever.
Yes, and Maribel's apple did not fall far from his tree.
Maybe, but isn't it nice of him to show us around before the conference personally? It sure is. Let's take him up on his offer. I like him. He's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's nicer than the Chancellor. The Chancellor, you know, everybody's nicer than him. Even
Yeah,
Ouroboros. That's saying something. There are 3 elevators. Now that's just showing off. Well, the building is 40 stories tall. And just for the record, there are actually 6 elevators if you count the private ones. That's impressive. Keep in mind, we don't have time today to visit every floor. We sadly have to keep things to those related to the conference. Without further ado, let's start by seeing where the security command room is on the 34th floor, shall we? After you. I see. I heard the same from Dudley. It's quite the tricky situation we find ourselves in. Yeah. The Jaegers in Huon are a cause for concern. Without the whatever the Imperial and Republic governments are up to is worth keeping in mind too. On top of that, there are terrorists aiming to take the lives of the 2 heads of state. Not to mention
the mystery hacker from yesterday. Are you aware they were able to steal the tower's blueprint from one of the terminals?
Yes, sadly. I heard of that it was one of the Orcus Tower's sub-terminals that was hacked into. After the IBC was hacked 2 months ago, I had other system departments boost their anti-hacking countermeasures too. It clearly wasn't enough. When you think about it, hacking is still a rare skill to have. Yep. The most logical explanation is it was someone who has ties to the Epstein Foundation.
Chief Roberts is currently looking into that possibility. Though my intuition is telling me that it's not the case this time.
No matter. After all we can do is wait for the results of his investigation. A Jaeger Corps, a crime syndicate, and the threat of terrorism coming. There is plenty to worry about already. What's What's most troublesome, however, is the motives of some of our other esteemed dignitaries. You mean what some of the leaders are after from the conference? You saying that you're suspicious of the people you invited? I don't suspect the Princess Caldidia and Prince Olivert, mind you. I also trust the Grand Prince of Remiferia. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith are another matter entirely. Leaders of the two major powers. They have the most to gain by controlling Crossbill's future. Have they tipped their hand on that front already? Quite the opposite, actually. We've already set several preliminary proposals to each country ahead of the conference. Both sides seem to suspiciously favorable to everything we suggested thus far. The way they've been behaving, you would think those two are all for what?
The way they're behaving, you would think those two are all for equitable growth in Western Zemuria.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That seems unlikely to say the least. The Empire and the Republic tend to clash over even the smallest issues. Correct. How they've been acting right now makes me more uncertain about what could happen at the conference. I've already prepared a worst-case scenario.
That seems wise.
So on top of the immediate danger we're stuck in the political trap, true. Times like this are when I'm glad I have Speaker MacDowell to lean on. If we play our cards right, we should also have the support of Liberl and Remiferia during these negotiations. And I'm not just preparing the worst for the worst. I'm also praying to Adios is in our corner too. Uncle. It's hard to believe that you have even more on your plate today than I realized. Sorry to take up your time with this tour. Don't mention it. On the contrary, I'm refreshing opportunity for a change of pace. This is why I insisted I'd be the one to show you around. Well, when you put it that way, it would be our honor, Mr. Mayor. Heck yeah, we're down if you are. That's what I like to hear. Good timing, here we are. Whoa, amazing. Oh boy. Oh look, we're at the top of this thing already. Kind of. Jesus. This building be tall. You gonna see Arabonia? Nope, just crossbow. A good view of like the area too. Wow.
It is quite the view.
Get a load of it. I'm glad you find it as satisfying as I do. This is the 34th floor, where much of the staff will be on standby during the trade conference. Are you ready to have a look around? Lead the way, Mr. Mayor. Here we have the security command room. Next door is the press room. There will be a company of guardsmen from the CGF on the floor below if we need them in case of an emergency. Yeah, I heard they'd be here. I bet they're gonna be sending the best of the CGF has to offer. I guess the press room is where Grace will be spending her time. Now that you mention that reporter from the Crossbill Times. That's right. I believe I saw her name on the list, so she should be there. Bear in mind, the press aren't permitted to leave this room except during the press conference or for scheduled interviews. That makes sense. It's necessary. Reporters can occasionally get a little pushy for interviews during events like this. Some even slip past security.
Grace does that regardless of how big the event is.
I can already picture us dragging her away from somewhere she's not supposed to be. Night Paz! He's probably already gone, is he?
I think so.
I get to it too late. I'm
Oh,
not
yes?
trying. I'm not trying to be a good streamer, Richa.
Oh.
Here, I'll show you this room just in case. Ooh, canteen? This is more my kind of place. This looks like a break room, but it's so spacious. Precisely. This is the break room I had prepared for the conference. Feel free to use it yourselves during the downtime. Thanks. We'll be sure to. We could always stop by for tea later. Let's head to the next floor, shall we? This is an emergency stairwell. It looks like one's going down or sealed off though. Naturally, we'd be unable to descend all the way to the first floor using these stairs. However, we've sealed them off in preparation for the conference. Only the stairs below 34, 35, and 36 are open. In other words, it's a security measure. What do people do if something like earthquakes occurs? In the event of an emergency, the gates of the stairwell will automatically open, which just goes to show that no security plan is foolproof. Not when we have to account for the unexpected. True, we'll do our part to cover any possible gaps.
Packing countermeasures must also figure into that.
Since we're here, why don't we take the stairs? Next stop is the 35th floor, home to the International Conference Room. Let's see it. Whoa, look at all the banners! That's cool. Look there. This would be... That's right. Before you is the stage where the continent's leaders will seek the elusive dream of diplomacy. That is diplomacy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the conference room. Oh, look at it. It's incredible.
I've never seen anything like it.
If this room's ceiling is as high is the height is that height, you must removed part of the next floor. As it just so happens, the 36th floor is designed in a U shape, to accommodate the conference room. The room next door to the conference room will be house the staff and all the dignitaries. Their personal security detail will also be on standby there. That's smart. Had to stick them somewhere to appease all of your guests. Let's move to the final floor of our tour, shall we? This floor is where we have the rooms prepared for the dignitaries that will be preparing for participating in the conference. Allow me to show you around. After you. This is cool. Whoa, check this place out. Talk about extravagant. If you gave me a room like this, I don't think I would want to leave it. This will be Prince Oliver's waiting room. These are the rooms in the West Wing, as well as ones assigned for each visiting participant. They double as places we can all go to cool our heads if things get heated during the conference. That makes sense.
Are these rooms connected to the Orbo security system too?
That's right. We had them in I can't say it. Help.
That's right, we had that inconspicuously wired to the security network.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Let's put the other room. Let's put the other rooms aside for now, because there's one final place I'd like to show you. Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
At ease, gentlemen. From these windows, you'll be able to get a full view of the conference and as it's in progress. That's so cool! There are curtains to make things private should a confidential meeting happen, but they'll be open this time. Good to know. We get to watch down. We're able to be able to get a peek of how the conference is going while doing our rounds. That's right. And if anything were to happen, we could see it and rush there right away. Good point. We should make this a routine stop on our patrol route then. Well then, you've seen all 3 floors that will be part of the security detail. However, if you'll allow me, there's one more place I've been saving for last. There's more? A place you were saving? Where could that be? Isn't it obvious? The spot with the best view of all. The roof? Oh yeah, it's gonna be the roof. Whoa. Look at this. Look at that. It's incredible. Oh. Look at it.
Wow.
That's cool. That's very neat. And it has little viewing platforms. That's so cool. Can you imagine being this high up?
it would be cool.
I'd be scared
I mean,
shitless.
yeah, but have you seen the sunset from that height? Because it's beautiful.
Oh, I want to do.
It's amazing. But the sacrifice
I'd be holding onto the banisters or just be a little bit aware. I'm not afraid of heights.
Mine had no banister, I think, because so the height that I was at a helipad.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? Because I was at like level 74.
Yeah.
At the hotel. Yeah, then I'm just like, fuck.
I'm fine with heights. I just can't look down. Well, I can. I get free. I'm more afraid of falling than the height itself. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
I like being high because I have no problem with flying and looking down from like really high up places. It's just I'm holding on to everything. I need to make sure that there's barriers in place and that I won't fall.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but at a certain height, I am slightly afraid. But past that certain height, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with flight, but if it's like at a possible height, like probably like the third, fourth, or fifth story onwards to a certain height, it does get a little bit scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Sorry, just fixing camera. It's breathtaking. Positively. This would be so cool. If you could see Ereboni and Calvert from it, you probably should be able to see both of them from up here.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, at this point, you can definitely make it out.
Yeah. The rest of the city looks tiny from this far up. Dang, I wish this shindig was after dark.
Randy, please stop saying words I've never seen before.
I bet this view at night's insane. This little area will be eventually becoming a viewing platform for the public. I couldn't restrict the roof. I couldn't restrict the roof to only government officials in good faith. I'm sure people will love it. I can't wait for us to take Kia here too. Oh, pardon me. It's me. Of course, got it. I'll be right there. I'll be there right away. I've just received word that the dignitaries have arrived at the tower. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to take my leave here. Not at all. Thanks for showing us around.
We appreciated it.
Oh boy, did we. That was awesome. That was the tour of a lifetime. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you as well for giving me the change of pace I needed. I'll see you all later. Good luck with your security duties, and give it all you've got. We won't let you down. It's the least I could do to pay you back for that letter of recommendation. Adios be with you. I'll be praying for your success of the conference. So will I. Alright, let's make our way back down to where Dudley is.
We should be in the security command room on the 34th floor by now.
Now the real work begins. I hope this goes smoothly. I hope so too. Same day, 1 p.m. We will now commence the main session of the West Samaria Trade Conference. Oh boy.
Oh, so official.
It's scary, having all these people in the same room. Oh,
I mean, true, and
Arios is here to make sure that they behave. Literally. If I may be so bold, I, Henry MacDowell, will begin our proceedings. The conference is scheduled to run for approximately 5 hours with an intermission. However, depending on how deliberations are proceeding, there may be short extensions. I would like to introduce you to the two observers that will be joining us for the conference. Lawyer Ian Grimwood. He is a legal expert who is active not only in Crossbow but in neighboring countries as well. I requested that he attend today's conference due to his familiarity with common and international law. It is a pleasure to be here, everyone. I am Ian Grimwood, at your service.
So this must be Crossbell's famous Grizzly Grim.
Okay, yes, I've heard of you as well. Do you want to be the Prince Albert as well?
Who is this guy?
He's
Albert? I forgot it.
He's the Prince of Vermiferia.
Okay, I'll be him.
He doesn't have a portrait, so he's likely never going to show up again. I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard of you as well. They say you're primarily concerned with matters surrounding civil rights.
It's nice to meet you. You flatter me. I promise to give you all my very best today. Next, Bracer Arios MacLean. You may also know him by his many outstanding achievements in our neighboring countries. I requested he to attend as a neutral observer of the Bracer Guild to further ensure everyone's safety here today.
That is correct. I'm Arios MacLean. Pleased to meet you.
So this is the Divine Blade of Wind. The speaker assumes, right? I've heard your name spoken many times, even in the Republic. Your name reaches the Imperial capital as well. They say there's a divine blade a divine blade bringing justice in Crossbell like a wind sweeping across the land.
I'm on it.
Without further ado, we will begin the going over each of the proposal. Actually, do you want to do President Rocksmith and the dudes? I just realized that I'm gonna have loads more voices.
Oh right. Wait, who? President Rocksmith
and Prince, the two princes, and
the two princes. All right,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll split it up nicely, hopefully. Without further ado, we will begin the going over each proposal on today's docket. Mayor Director Kroos is the first proponent. Please outline your proposal. Of course. Let's start by looking over the first bill in the materials provided to you. Get started. Yeah.
You look like a bunch of stalkers. I'm so sorry.
We're security. We're just making sure they're safe. That's all. I knew Arius was going to be here, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood would be was playing a role here too.
The Grizzly Grim moniker is known outside of Crossbell, so it makes sense.
keep in mind that international arguments are reached at conferences like this. It's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in our international and common law. Oh, I get it. So they brought Grizzly Grim for legal advice and things like that. It's nice that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head.
It's not as though it's our place to be concerned with the actual discussion during the conference.
I'm concerned with the actual discussions taking place. I want to know.
Focus on what matters most. Making sure today passes without incident.
We will try, but not succeed. I'm sorry. Understood. Should we begin as planned?
Yes. I've tasked you with patrolling floors 34, 35, and 36.
Okay, 34, 35, and 36. Cool.
Everyone on this floor should know who you are and why you're there. I advise you to take some time to speak with the members of the media and the staff of the dignitaries.
Sure. Got it.
In that case, I'll head back to the 34th floor right now. May Adios protect you and call me if anything happens.
Will do, Dudley. Will do. Okay. Give me a second. I need to highlight things so that I can see things. Okay. Because the guide is hiding names from me, and I'm like, please stop hiding names. I need to know who I need to talk to again. Okay. Okay. Dudley seemed usually steerly. I noted too. Sorry, I missed that.
It is hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we've experienced last night.
I agree. We're going to need to be hyper vigilant on these patrols. Bingo. What do you say, leader? Ready to get this show on the road? No. I am. Let's follow Dudley's advice and chat up all the, What is that word?
Follow Dudley and chat up all of the ancillary
staff? Well, we do our rounds. We're just talking to staff. Can we just say that? We talk normal?
Please be normal. Lloyd, please.
So there's nobody in here but our maids. Cool. Who's in here? Nobody? Just kind of looking around at the moment. Seeing who's where and what's where. Patrolling like actual policemen. Oh, there he is. Lecter's our first talk.
Man, get a load of that view. Ain't it something, SSS?
Lecter. What are you doing here?
What are you guys talking about? I'm part of His Excellency the Chancellor's staff, right? Nothing unusual about me chillaxing here. It's been a few weeks, guys and girls.
Oh gosh.
We really gotta stop meeting like this. Then how about you stop appearing? Fuck?
Even on the day like this, you look like you don't have a care in the world.
That makes me think he's hiding something. Come on, little lady. All I'm hiding under all this charm is even more charm than I know what to do with.
Oh my god.
I'm crying. Those Those looks on your faces tell me you guys have a bunch of questions you'd like to ask.
Yeah? We heard a thing or two in the past 24 hours, specifically about the Imperial government's actions and the lack thereof regarding the trade conference.
Alrighty then, I'm not exactly sure what you've heard. But hey, riddle me this. Did you figure out I'm working with the noble faction to take Gilead Osborn's line?
What? Excuse me?
Man out here exposing himself.
Consider the source, guys. Don't listen to him. You ain't fooling us this one, for this one, pal.
Fool me once, shame on you. Dang it, don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 in bed, but I was hoping to get more than half of you.
You got me. I don't suppose we have to worry about that one coming true, do we? Listen, Lecter, because I need to make sure, make something clear. I don't care what your position or aim is. From where I stand, you're the type of person who takes responsibility and knows how to get the job done. With that in mind, the most logical thing to do is to cooperate with us today, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong?
So that's your claim. I was just fooling around about what I said, but couldn't you imagine something like that actually happening?
Uh-huh.
You've got to keep your eyes peeled at all times. Remain vigilant. That's the key to a good writer finding inspiration, you know?
None of us are trying to become authors. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than than this guy does.
Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open eye. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz.
Real helpful, thanks. Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking.
Who says he's thinking?
I feel like I understand him even less than I did before this conversation. Right? Oh god. Elevator sealed. We only have one. Alright. 235. Alright. We have a few people in here that we can talk to. We do not go into the other room though. This is the conference room. We can't go in there. We can go in here. Yes. I'm gonna talk to these guys in order. I don't think it matters, but I'm gonna talk to these guys in the order. Look who it is. It's been a while, SSS. How are your patrols going? Kilika. Where are my manners? The last time we met, circumstances were different. Allow me to introduce myself again. Kilika Ruin, at your service. Abide to the President of the Calvert Republic. I have other responsibilities and titles, of course, but there is no need to speak of those right now. No, of course not. What happened to being an entertainment producer? Just one of the many tasks I have to put on for my line of work. There is, in fact, an office for the agency back in the Republic.
In other words, you were not technically lying.
She's a woman that can be whatever she wants to be. How fitting for a spy. I know. I wouldn't give to roleplay with her. for
Randy.
just one night? I can't keep a serious face with these characters. Please help. You're talking about a spy from one of the major powers. For Adio's sake, Randy. Care to share with the class? Oh, this reminds me. I was told you were invited aboard the Arcel yesterday. I beg your pardon?
I'm not surprised you already knew.
Geez, talk about having good sources. Settle down. It isn't anything to fret over. I am curious, though. Did you hear anything of note? We did. But it was only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to discover for ourselves. Is that so? Same could be said for myself. What? I was merely thinking out loud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any one of them will come to pass. There are several conflicting motives, and much is we still don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the day the first domino falls, or will it be later? At this point in time, who's to say? I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. I'd guess she's right on the money. The only thing I'd add is that my role today is simply to watch over the president and protect him. In that sense, we may as well be colleagues for now. Why don't we put aside allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds? Beyond that, I have no further comments to make at this time. Fair enough. Thanks for the information. Oh boy. I'm Mueller and you're Julia, so I think they both talk, but I'm not actually sure. Good afternoon, everyone.
If it isn't the special support section, I see you're busy securing the conference floors for everyone.
That's right. Our next stop is on our rooms. Get a load of this room. This is where they stashed the big guns, eh? I think each and every one of you has got to be a ranking officer.
Correct. I believe this room alone could stop a major incident if they had to.
This room tries senior catcher short swordsmanship. I've heard it's as fearsome and as elegant.
Please, it's nothing that special. Regardless of what threat appears, they will not lay a finger on the highness. I swear on it. Trust us to guard the conference room. Good luck securing the surrounding areas, SSS.
Thank you, we will. Can I talk to these guys as well? Jesus. Be wary of making sounds that could disrupt the conference next door. We would ask you to remain quiet as possible when in this room. Sure. Mueller, my friend. Good to see you again, Major Vander. Anything out of the ordinary to report? It's the SSS. Things have been quite calm thus far, though we have, of course, have not let our guards down. Even the discourse of the conference itself, it has been civil. I'm impressed by how smoothly things are going. If the conference went well, that would at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulder. See, he cares.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay, Major Vander?
You seem to have a lot on your mind.
I guess you could say that. We've come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow, after all. But never mind that. What's important now is our duties at the conference. I've my role to play as the Princess Escort. Just as I'm sure you all have your own to serve as security. There's no denying that. He's a good bean. I love him so much. Right. Oh, we can go down here now. So we need to... This is the control room. We need to talk to Grace, but I'm trying to find another person. This is a CGF room. We're on the 34th floor, northwest room. Okay. This one. Yep. One of these guys? Staff? Okay. Just stuff. Okay. We have to talk to you. I can't believe she... I'm sure of it this time. Sure of what? Is he... Excuse us, Vice...
Commissioner.
Commissioner Bryant? What? Oh, the special support section. Oh, joy. What do you want? What are you
doing here, Vice Commissioner?
Tio, don't be so... Nothing? I'm doing my job as the head of security planning. If you say so. Oh yeah, I remembered reading that in some of the of that material we were given.
I did not read those, hence my confusion.
You what? Here we go. You probably should have mentioned that sooner, Tio. Whoops. One question: if you're the head of security planning, why are you here instead of in the command room, taking a little break? Please, I handed Dudley full command while we were on site. There's no reason for me to be in the command room. I've only be getting in their way, obviously. So think of whatever you like. As your supervisor, I know what's best for the operation. You six just focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. Alright. Let's talk to Grace. And we need to talk to So... I think we need to talk to these guys as well. Good to see you, Captain Grant. Hey, Grant, working hard. Hello, Sergeant Major Seeker. To you as well, Sergeant Orlando. Though I suppose neither one of you is technically part of the CGF at the moment. That's true, but my leave is only temporary. Call me whatever is easiest for you. I don't really care either way. Are you two the only ones from the CGF on this floor? We are. You can chalk that up to the dignitaries and members of the press. Part of the CGF's orders is to assemble... of this assignment is to stay out of sight and minimize exposure, hence the minimal deployment. Are you suggesting that? That's right. It's a decision made by... what? To appease the two major powers. the Guardians Force armaments are restricted by state law, but it's still an organization that carries itself with like any state military. We stay within budget but funding goes towards improvement and maintaining the arms we're allowed to have. Those upgrades would be the point of contention. It's where if they were carried out in the open during the conference, CGF would rather avoid that altogether.
So they're not aligned, in other words?
Diplomacy can be a tricky issue. All true, but I think, but I try not to think about it too much. Keeping up appearances comes with the territory. Still, there's an entire company of guardsmen one story below, ready to move at a moment's notice. Should something happen, they'll be on this floor within seconds, rest assured. Good to know. We'll be counting on you if it comes to that. Alright, finally, Grace. And then Dudley. Well, good to see you, SSS.
Hey, if it isn't Lloyd and the crew!
I remembered.
It's finally time to knock this trade conference out, huh? It's the main event of the main events. Crossbell's leadership and representatives from all 4 neighboring countries in the conference buttons up. And what's the main event without a prime time venue? August Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper.
Wow.
Can you feel it? The excitement in the room? I'm so excited and my heart's about to jump out of my chest.
It's good to see you aren't nervous, at least.
This is Grace you're talking about. She is always like this. You're back, Theo! You haven't missed a beat with the snark either. I'll admit, I'm pretty darn excited to write out a storm of articles about today, but enough about that. There's someone I want to introduce you to. There's someone I want to introduce you to. Meet Nautisha. Wait, what? Nautisha, this is the special support section.
I've seen all of you in the papers before. You look like you're even finer team in person. It's nice to meet you. I'm Nautisha, a reporter with the Liberal. Oh, she's a reporter from Liberal. Okay. Oh, we missed a chance to see like the camera girl and the news guy. Jesus, they really? Come on. Thanks for looking after all of us today. Happy to be of service. We heard of the Liberal News. It's the largest publication in the Liberal Kingdom. That's right. They're also been getting a lot of attention in the journalist sphere for another reason. 2 of their own were awarded the Fulsazer Prize last year. Yeah, I know those 2. The Fulsazer Prize? If I remember correctly, they award that to the most outstanding journalist on the continent each year. One and the same. It was given to a duo named Neil Burns and Dorothy Hart. Why aren't they here? Come on, I would love to see Dorothy. Neil's our ace reporter and Dorothy is our brilliant camerawoman. So if the year's winners are from the Liberal News, does that mean was it their coverage of the phenomenon that happened in Liberal last year that won them the award? Right again. Technically, their coverage of everything that led up to the incident factored into the decision too.
They sound very impressive.
Why are they not here?
Yeah, I guess so. We're not gonna let them outshine us, though. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. And if you want to win the next one, then you better get the best scoop you can every day, especially today. Yeah, for it, Rains. We're gonna go all out and not let anyone here outdo us.
Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinkler system might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least. We got 2 more peeps. I'm guessing some of these are going to be from Calvert. Reporter Thompson. Tribune news reporter. I'm assuming you guys are going to be from Calvert or River Ferry or something. Okay. Oh, we're done. We just need to talk with Dudley. Wait. Security guard, 34th. We're in the 34th floor, right? I need to talk to you. Is the waiting room for the media? Policy forbids them from leaving the waiting room while the conference is in session. Feel free to enter and confirm the identities of those inside. Cool, thank you. Alright, Dudley, you're up.
There you all are. Have you seen anything we missed?
Nope, not yet. So we're able to assert the security of the entire tower on this monitor?
Right. We've access to every critical area of the tower in real time. That includes the conference room, of course. Thankfully, the building is equipped with the most advanced security system on the continent. Starting with the RBC and the Opal stores, many buildings are starting to use security cameras. I've never seen this many in one place, however.
You're not doing it justice. I've never thought I'd see something so high-tech. I wouldn't be surprised to see them eventually using to survey areas around outside the city. The CGF's days could be numbered, Noel. I wouldn't say that. I don't think it will ever be that simple. How widespread they become will depend on the public's acceptance.
Yes, I agree. For now, view them as a welcome convenience for this assignment. With their help, we may be able to stop a potential terrorist plot before it happens. That's why we have to keep our eyes sharp and not overlook even the smallest details in security. Remember to report anything suspicious you find immediately.
Yes, sir. Understood. Okay. It says talk to a guard on the 31st floor in the central hallway. You? Well, sort of depends on how you define alright for that guy.
Correct. You could say he's the same as ever.
Is he? It seems like he's a little left out of everything to Dudley instead of taking charge himself. I see what you mean. Well, it's not that surprising given what's happened lately. He's had a frustrating year. Keep in mind the CPD has 2 vice commissioners When the previous commissioner was dismissed in the spring, it was the other vice commissioner that was promoted. That's right. That did happen. We'll never actually mesh each other with the other vice commissioner, though. Thing is, the new commissioner also had a less safe experience than Vice Commissioner Perry. Really? The new dude hasn't been on the force in as long as him? Now it's starting to add up. Not to be rude, but it would have been a little hard to imagine a Vice Commissioner Perry and new commissioner. All in all, I think the decision was understandable, but I can surmise that the Vice Commissioner, despite how he behaves, being passed over for someone else less experienced must be killing him. Life comes at you fast, of course, it is bitter. No denying that, but I still think he has reason to be. I know I'll be asking a lot here, but keep it in mind when you're speaking to him. He may not be good at showing it, but he scolds you sometimes. But I think he does care about the SSS. Maybe. Right. Maybe. Maybe he cares. Alright, what do we do? After you've spoken to everyone listed above, head to the elevator for an event scene. Okay. Alright, we go to the elevators for events! Alright, that's one patrol down. Nothing unusual to report at the moment. Yep, so far so good. Let's make another loop around. Agreed. I hope the conference is going smoothly. I'm a bit nervous. I know the mayor and the speaker are doing their best in there, but that's a tough room.
The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President Rocksmith presents the greatest challenge.
That they do. Want to ask someone how it's been going during the intermission? Yeah? Same day, 3:05 p.m. Alright. The trade conference finally reached its halfway point. Before the intermission officially begun, the heads of state gave a brief press conference for the media. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who started his break ahead of the others. So that explains it. Things are being as precarious as they are. The SSS was asked to assist with the security detail. Exactly. I'm not sure how much of a difference we really make to the grand scheme, though we may only be an additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted an assassination attempt of the previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. That's kind of you to say. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence.
How is the conference going, Mr. Grimwood? Things appear to have gone smoothly thus far?
That's fair to say. So far, so good. The participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Crow's efforts are truly beginning to pay off for all of us. Thank goodness. That puts my mind at ease. You said it's been good so far. Do you think things may get rocky in the second half? Oh. Is there something is there something you're concerned about? This may be out of line for me to say as an observer and not a participant. The purpose of the first half of the conference was focused on economic proposals that affect things such as trade and finance. However, the second half focuses on proposals for each country's head of state. Each nation's agenda will come into play. That is undoubtedly when the topic of cross-bill security will be addressed. That would mean talking about cross-bill state security means foreign military force is going to enter the equation. Thank you. The non-aggression pact was signed only 2 years ago. Can they really do that? As it's true that the Burl's Queen pushed the pact into reality 2 years ago, with Crossbell's best interest in mind. Nevertheless, the two participating nations today technically did not sign the pact from Eferia as well as Crossbell itself. It's a foregone conclusion that a new continental security framework will be discussed. Grandfather expected that too, and is equally concerned.
Would the simplest solution not be to write a similar new pact and have Crossbell sign it as well?
Has to be. They should sign a new framework like the non-aggression pact that prohibits military force being between all of the nations. Oh. I get it. Crossbell isn't technically a nation. The Empire and the Republic don't only recognize Crossbell as an autonomous state. Yeah, Crossbell doesn't exist to the Empire or Calvert. How lovely is that? Jesus. It's as you say, Crossbell lacks the sovereignty to enter an international treaty. Economic deals alone are not grounds for the state to enter into such arrangements. This is why cross-bill security becoming a focus at the trade conference is a perilous issue for cross-bill leaders. I'm sort of getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry.
There's something I would like to ask.
Oh?
Crossbell is not the only autonomous state on the continent. There is also Leman, Ored, and North Umbria.
Yeah, that's true.
Are those states also barred from entering into international treaties?
No, they're not. It's true that each state has its own set of history and circumstances as to why they've remained states and non-formed nations. However, each has also been recognized by the major powers as an independent state, with sovereignty similar to their own. So their sovereign
states.
Yes. And thank you, Eclaria.
Welcome.
Exactly. They're treated very differently than Crossbell, primarily because the sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Alteria.
That would be
as in the high seat of the Septium Church. that holy city of Altaria? Yes, as the city-state, Altaria's territory is small, but the churches hold religious authority on the continent. Several autonomous states or free cities have been established because of the church's support. Sus. Very sus. Why? Then you have Crossbow, who's an autonomy was a gift to it by Arabonia and Calvert. And that's how we're in a unique position of having two
That's how we're in the unique position of having two suzerain states above us. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it.
I have no idea.
Christ. Yeah.
And that has a historically led to Crossbow being dragged into their conflicts time after time. If Crossbow had the modicum of sovereignty, the solution could improve. But consent from both countries is what it will take for that to become a reality, then it will never happen. I wish I could disagree.
When put that way, it does seem bleak.
Getting back on topic at hand, I would expect the Chancellor and the President to have their own security proposals. Naturally, each country's terms for such proposals will be vastly different. The Speaker and the Mayor will have to be careful of that. Apologies, my young friends. I didn't mean to put even more of your more on your plate. Remember that Speaker McDowell is used used to these kinds of things. I sense Mayor Cross still has some cards to play himself. Cards to play, as in a plan? What could you be referring to? I don't know the particulars myself, however, it could... Oh! Phone ringing. Sorry, I should take this. It could be the terrorist attack that we're...
Terrorist just casually calling. Hi, how's the day?
How's it going? White Bannings from the Special Support Section speaking.
Bannings, こちらは記者会見が終わった。
This is you?
Oh, Bannings, the press conference has concluded.
首脳たちは36階に引き上げたが、お前たちはどこにいる？
The dignitaries are headed to the 36th floor.
Got it. Well, we're still in the break room on the 34th. Is there anything else we should know?
Yes, actually, we are contacted by both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith.
Oh no, for what?
Okay.
Why?
Why? They each requested to speak with the SSS during the intermission.
They what?
Given who they are, I hope you understand we're in no position to turn them down. The SSS is to visit each leader's rooms during the break, and that's final.
The hell? I'm scared.
The President's room is the furthest one in the West Wing corridor, and the Chancellor's is the furthest room in the East Wing.
I'm scared. Hold on a second.
Okay,
I know why we can't refuse, but why ask for us? This is a lot of pressure, Dudley.
Don't be childish, Bannings. This is an excellent opportunity to learn the motive of each side.
Yeah, sure. You're right. Okay, we'll head there right away.
Listen up. Rely on the McDowells if things get difficult. She's the best suited at handling this situation on your team. Report to me once you're finished.
Understood. What was that about, Lloyd? The chat sounded like all over the place. What's going on, bud? Brace yourselves. Lloyd explained that to the others that both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith requested a private audience with them. Excuse me? No fooling.
Non-detector, this does not appear to be a joke.
This is certainly a surprise. The Special Support Section's name is only more well known than I thought. I don't know about that. I suspect it's because we're familiar with a couple of people from each of their staff. That could explain why the Chancellor and the President have taken an interest in us. You might be right, it might be onto something there. Regardless of the reason, there's no getting around. Our hands are being tied. I know. Let's head to the first room on the East Wing, 36th floor, and get this over with. We need to see them right away.
Roger.
Yes, sir. I'm scared. I don't wanna. I kinda don't wanna. I know I don't have a choice, but I kinda don't wanna. Who do we want to go to first? We have two options. I have to go up
let's get rid of let's get rid of
no.
both of them.
Both of them. That's So, that's what happened. Oh, Lucy. What? This is you?
Yep, I was only in the Remiferia on business too. Guess she caught wind. I tried to run, but she caught me. Dang, she's gotten better. Didn't realize how many bonks over the head she gave me.
0? She hugged you and cried, didn't she?
Dang it.
I know exactly
how Lucy...
I know,
sorry.
I know exactly how Lucy feels. You know, she's probably well aware of just how dangerous your day-to-day is and has been worried sick.
Man, why do perceptive women gotta be so scary? I never know how to handle them.
Apparently Hero's power leveling your crafters on 14.
Yeah. Fucking power leveling.
Maybe, but you brought it upon yourself. This really doesn't take me back. It's been so long since I've seen Leo, too. I'd love for all of us to have a reunion. Why the look, Lecter? Isn't this when you say, yeah, let's all have a bash at Michelin and party till we drop?
You got me. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, you know?
I know. I'm still be looking forward to it. I should be going. If you'll please excuse me.
No prob. And hey, don't forget to say hi to Sig for me. I still owe him that 70. Oh, that salami. Fuck, what am I saying?
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Life. Damn, she's really grown up. She's become the ideal crown princess. You guys think so too, right?
Busted. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. It was just a happy accident. Was it? You seemed very Oh.
Was it? You seem very curious about their relationship, Ellie.
Tio! She ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story?
I was a senior back in school. Not Sunday school. Guinness Royal Academy, to be specific.
Guinness Royal Academy? Isn't that the prestigious school in the borough? That's right. It's true, they accept students from abroad, but... Did you study there as an imperial taxpayer there on imperial taxpayer money?
Nah, old man Goliath paid my tuition out of pocket.
Old man.
Old man. Well, it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. Oh, that reminds me. You got called in to talk with the head hunter, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck in there.
Thanks. What? That's sad. Kinda. As much as I hate Lecter, I still like him as a character.
Could it be any more sketchy if you tried?
Who would have thought the next queen of the borough went to school with an imperial spy? Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. No matter how you put it, we can't forget that he's a subordinate of the Blood and Iron Chancellor. How could we forget? We're not allowed to.
We are constantly reminded.
As for what he's after personally, I think we'll have to figure that out for ourselves. Okay. Right, we were interrupted by with a cutscene, but who are we going to first? Wait, President Rocksmith. Oh, never mind. We're going to the presidents first. They're making us do it.
Oh.
Okay. Fair. It's gonna be this guy, right? I've been waiting for you. You're the Crossbill Police Department Special Support Section, correct? We are... Is this the president's room? Yes. I've been told to let you pass. Please enter. And mind your manners. Alright. Please excuse us. This man is the president of Calvert, one of the country's two largest nations. Sure is. Even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Please excuse us. Excuse us, Mr. President. Thank you for requesting to meet with the Special Support Section. This is you again.
Thank you all for coming. Please, sit down. No need to feel anxious, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Gladly. Not nervous, no.
Totally not. He doesn't look weird at all.
No, he looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told he's the nicer version of...
Oh, is that so? Are you all surprised I caught you here?
Yes, very.
Ah, where are my manners? Allow me to apologize for taking up your precious time. I imagine you must be very busy.
You don't have to apologize to us. That's right. It's an honor to have been invited.
You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? We met once before at a celebration of some kind, if I remember correctly.
That's right. We spoke once when I had the opportunity to visit Calvert with my grandfather. It was 2 years ago?
Ah yes, now I remember. And then just earlier this year, your grandfather chose to not seek re-election and became the speaker. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I may say so.
Can you be nice? Please. I'm sure grandfather would be flattered to hear you that. By the way, Mr. President, what was it you called us here for?
Ah, truth be told, I've heard all about you. Papa, I heard all about you a lot from Kilika. This year's sword auction sounded like quite the event, am I right? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on good terms. Oh, didn't know that. And selfishly, I've been eager to meet the police team that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall.
We're honored, sir. Yeah, but honestly, the dude had it coming. He ain't got no one to blame but himself.
That is true. He made his bid the day he became involved with the cult. Ah, of course, I know them too. The DG cult, their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no country was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all.
You're welcome. But really, we were only doing our jobs. We weren't alone either. Several others supported us and made sure we solved the crisis in one piece.
No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard things were rather dire. Even your guardian force was being manipulated. Talk about an uphill battle, yet you still managed to overcome it all, protect a little girl and squash the cult. Good goddess, those are no small achievement, lads.
Wow, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly, thank you for such high praise.
Honestly, had Croswell fallen to that cult, I didn't know what we would have done. If they had taken hold of the IBC, that would have brought international trade and finance to a halt. Such a thing would have had severe consequences for our economy.
That's true.
All the more reason I like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. As soon as I return to the Republic, I'll have the arrangement made.
No, that's not necessary.
Is it appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive awards from the Republican government?
And besides, we already got plenty of recognition back in May from old man McDowell.
Truly? I don't think there's anything inappropriate about it at all. Your troubles are your own. as well. Oh, your troubles are our own as well. After all, the Republic holds English holds suzerainty over Crossbell.
Mr. President.
There's no need for the long faces or the glares, boys and girls. You received an invitation from our Powder Blood and Iron Chancellor too, did you not? I will be delighted to speak with you all more. But I think my turn is over. And not to fear, I'll see to it that you receive more awards we speak of. Please look forward to it.
Oh, thanks. Is that all? You gave us a heart attack for awards? Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for almost giving me a heart attack. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I believe you were all called by the Chancellor Osborne too. You may find his room in the opposite wing. Thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. Okay, bye. He was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I was expecting from the leader of such a large country. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, Wolsey?
Yes, but he is not wrong. I do not think he was intentionally trying to put pressure on us, but he managed to either way.
I think he was trying to keep us up appearances. As Calvert's president, it would be good at publicity to honor the ones who were credited with ending a cult incident. He said Crossbill troubles are theirs as well, which reaffirms that he sees Calvert as Crossbill's owners. Man, you sure that making that clear wasn't his whole reason for calling us in there? These major power leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from the anomalous state like this have nothing on them. We still have to speak with the Chancellor. What could that be about? I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I do know that we need to steel ourselves before we meet him. Okay. I think we may have missed a room event. Head upstairs to the 35th floor. Hang on. I'm going back down. 35th floor. Here. And then left room. Aha! We didn't miss it. Is that Arius and Kilika? I believe so. What could they be talking about?
It's almost been a year since you left the guild. Have you adjusted well to your new job?
More or less. I had to get used to the working much harder than what I did while I was with the guild.
So it seems.
How has Suzuku been?
As cheerful as ever, though her hearing is almost too good sometimes. I've been blessed to see her more often recently, to laugh with her too.
That's good to hear. It's already been 5 years since Seiya passed away, hasn't it? And 6 years since we first met.
That's right, 6 years. You and Saya met completely by chance when we came to Crossbell while wandering the continent. She insisted you stay with our family while in town, no matter how much you tried to refuse, didn't she? I never expected to see you working for the guild in the ball 3 years later.
The goddess works in mysterious ways. You never know how connections between people may turn out. I'll never forget the hospitality the two of you showed me back then. I only regret that I was unable to return the favor to her.
Don't dwell on it. The fact you remember her to this day would be more than enough to force Saya.
Aww. It sounds like those two know each other before they met through the guild. So it seems, but I think it would be rude to listen in any further.
I agree. We should leave before we interrupt them. You've been standing there for a good portion of the conversation. What do you mean?
Okay. Alright, going upstairs, yes. Back upstairs. Let's see if we can go in here. Yes. Can? May I ask you something, Zeke? How do you think grandmother would respond if she were here? Ski! You have a point. I can't help but be who I am. Oh, hello, SSS. For interrupting. Sorry for interrupting, Your Highness. Don't concern yourself with it. I'm merely thinking out loud. I'm glad to hear you're here, to be honest. You are, Your Highness? Are you also what? Ruminating over what could happen during the second half of the conference. There is that, specifically, but I was thinking a tad bolder. As Crown Princess, I've some knowledge in the area of diplomatic negotiations. To be a good negotiator, you need several skills, such as insight, judgment, and objectivity. The first half of the conference made me plainly aware that I still have room for growth in those areas.
So, that is what is bothering you.
Give yourself some credit. Knowing where you can improve is half the battle. That's right. And you're still only as old as Lloyd and Ellie and me, Your Highness. You're an inspiration if you ask me. Do you think so? That's kind of you. Still, being timid in the room like that is unavoidable at this stage in my career. The continent's troubles won't wait for me to catch up in experience. I have to gain it slowly and take in everything in stride as I do. That's a good way to approach it. Just don't forget to kick back and relax every now and again. Cut loose a little. Like now, for example. It's your break time, isn't it? Halsey, I swear to Radius if you're thinking of inviting her out for a drink right now. It's okay, Lloyd. I appreciate that he doesn't feel the need to force formalities. It's relaxing, actually. nice to think that I think about it. Perhaps nostalgic is the better word. When I'm around all of you, it feels like I'm speaking with Estelle and Joshua, and all of our other friends. You do? Might be giving us too much credit. Not at all. It's out of customary for friends to treat each other, so you would all care. Would you also care for some tea? No, we couldn't possibly. We have somewhere to be. I'd love to spend tea with you, but we have somewhere to be.
As much as I would love to, there is somewhere else we will have to be.
I didn't realize that Tio said the exact same thing. That's funny. My apologies. I should have considered that. I won't keep you any longer. Please be careful today, everyone. I'll be rooting for you. And the rest assured that I will be giving the second half of the conference my utmost. We'll be rooting for you too. Who's in here? Oh, this is the dudes. I don't know if I want to talk to you guys. Yeah, guys, don't have portraits, so you're not important. I mean, I am mean. These two I'll talk to. Good to see you again, SSS.
Mind giving us a status report?
Nothing to report for now. How about the two of you? Have you learned anything?
Unfortunately not. Things have been quiet.
The Empire is exhausting all avenues as well. No leads have come in from either the Reformist faction or the Noble faction. That's unfortunate. Nada from both major imperial factions, eh? They seem to have, like, real peaches to work with. Yesterday, Prince Olivert mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? It's been on my mind ever since. If you wouldn't mind, Major, could you tell me more about what he intends? Good question, Ellie. Indeed, truth be told, his goal goes beyond simply remaining neutral. I'm not supposed to be saying much, but I don't think there's any harm in sharing a little bit of it with you, the SSS. I suppose, metaphorically, you could say the Prince is trying to clear some long-standing barriers. Class 7? A few barriers in the way sounds all too familiar. Basically, there's an incredibly... What?
Basically, there are inconceivable differences
between the Noble faction and the Reformist factions. Yeah, that's not stopping him. He's going to try to have the two come to terms anyway. As absurd as it is, the Prince is trying to have the Reformist and the Noble faction reconciliate. I underestimated just how idealistic is he. Isn't the scheme between those two as wide as the Grelia Canyon itself? Halsey, don't be so rude. You're absolutely right. The Prince has been dancing with a monster for over a year now, and isn't afraid to think outside the box. People have been saying much worse behind his back. They see him as slowly
Debaucherous.
as a showy, debaucherous bastard prince whose only concern is his hobbies. And that's fine with me. I've decided to stand by him regardless. Oh,
Look at him.
Mueller, you're striking me where it hurts. I love him so much. See, he cares. I think that's admirable.
It's just as Princess Claudia has said, the prince will always have an ally in the bow, Major Mueller. We may not be able to always intervene directly, but we'll assist the two of you in any way we can.
Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly graceful.
The prince must truly be loved to have so many valuable allies.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's no question that he has an effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be this trade conference ending without incident. That's all I want. I'll be counting on you should the time come, Special Support Section. That must be the Chancellor's room. The intermission will likely be over by the time we're done with speaking with him. We should take the care of anything else beforehand. We need to do beforehand. Meaning save? I just realized we've been going for 3 hours.
Ooh.
It's 6 o'clock. Are you okay?
I think I can stay for a little while longer, yeah.
You good for another hour or another
Yep.
half? Because this could go for another hour.
I think we can.
Okay, alright. Just making sure. Alright, let's do this. I kind of want to see. Oh, he is here! And he's talking to the director, Chris. We gotta talk to him. I see we share the same hopes for the bright men and women that will be leading our homes someday.
There we do. What's special about them is their hearts and minds are like a pure garden basking in the morning dew. That's why more and more of... Oh, hello, Special Support Section.
I'm right in front of him and he turns.
Care to join in on our chat?
Sure, if you don't mind, if we're not interrupting, that is. What are you two discussing? His Highness here happens to be on the board of directors of the prestigious military academy in Arabonia. We were just discussing the finer details of his duties.
The board of directors? Those are the people responsible for how the school is operated, yes?
You've got a whole lot on your plate, don't you?
It's only another one of my little schemes to get my name out there. Sure. I think the mayor here is doing far better than I am.
Mayor Chris is involved too. It simply means as a business partner. The IBC and the Epstein Foundation benefactors, and it's just so happens to be the Foundation is involved in a major test occurring at the Academy. That would mean you're directly contributed?
That does remind me. I have heard that Arbor network test has also begun in the Empire.
No surprise, the continent's largest bank is holding clout in every country in some form or another.
Quite right. I think our little talk today was preordained by the goddess herself. What do you say to being a guest lecturer at the Academy one day if the opportunity arises? Though I'll have to warn you that teacher-student relationships are strictly prohibited. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god. Oh. Why does it feel like you're reciting that from is that from perfect memory? You do sound like quite the peculiar fellow, Prince Olivert. I might have to steal you away for a night of drinks myself once this is all over.
I love nothing more, my friend. It'll be a rousing good time. Sure.
These two. It sounds like His Highness and Uncle have really hit it off. I'll say. I guess there's much more similar than I thought. Is that good or bad?
Right.
You're the SSS group from the Crossbow Police, correct? His Excellency is awaiting you inside. Please do not keep him waiting. Right. Pardon us.
He's exuding arrogance.
Classic Imperial Army, overbearing and as all Gehenna. I'm scared of you, for many reasons. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. Announcing the arrival of the CPD's Special Support Section. Thank you for having us. Do come in. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. We're standing in the proof that we've finally reached the glory of this ancient civilization once had. Maybe so.
Are you referring to the ancient Zemurian civilizations from over 1,200 years ago?
Everything I've heard about the ancient civilization makes it sound like they're more or less had magic at their fingertips. It wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's Liberal incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. The city was constructed before the Great Collapse, yet was sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of the birth of mankind's potential and its hubris. Our hubris, but our potential too? It sounds like you know a lot about what's happening around the continent. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbow's concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest Jumaka Gunter did.
How do you...
It's what I don't know that makes the world so interesting. If you had everything in the palm of your hands, life as we know it would be a hapless, madam? What?
Mundane.
Mundane. It's calling the world boring. Don't you agree, Wolsey Hampshire? So you've heard of me, have you? Me too. Do you only go as far as to learn my name? I hope you're not trying to expose all of my dirty little secrets. Perish the thought. I've no peculiar interest in doing so. Nanny the fuck? What?
Burra.
What dark secrets will I care to share with the room? I'm much more interested in the successor of the War God. Yeah. Imperial Intelligence Division, I take it. Their ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I am the head of state of the Erebonian Imperial Government, Gileath Osborne. I have heard much and more about you from Lecter. Care to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends? Sure, friendly. Sure. Well then, Chancellor.
Also very fat.
What is it you wanted to discuss with us?
We already seen all too well of everything that is happening right now.
Don't overthink it. This is merely a polite conversation. There is something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious crossbow will last? I'm dying. That's gonna raise some eyebrows here.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting right to the heart of the matter, aren't we? That's a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, it's not out of malice. Sure, it's not. Oh, this is new music.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun. This is cool. Creepy, but cool. History tells us that no government lasts forever. To say nothing about the Orville Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of our current era. How much longer can a land as contested as Crossbell withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever. As long as there are citizens in this state that have the will to protect it. Noel. True. Having a strong will is important. Resolve, one might say. There is a rare instance in time when treads are bolt, and the course of the history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential of their resolve can hold. Then you agree? However, what happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two will be engulfed, fanning the flames of revolution even further. Eventually, the hellfire will swirl and make its way to the surface. The justice and eccentrics of the past will
the justice and ethics.
And ethics of the past will decay into the scorching heat until the world itself is ablaze. Why do you look so happy about the world being on fire? That's my question. You just look so happy about this. Surely, you can see it on the horizon. Damn. Ugh. I can understand how compared to the Empire or the Republic, Crossbill's resolve would seem insignificant. But even if one is smaller, that doesn't make it lesser. It's not a foregone conclusion that the larger one will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Le Burl repelled the Imperial Army. Oof. Fight back. That's right. The 100-Day War was 12 years ago. Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Le Burl was small but tenacious. It overcame the what?
Le Burl was small but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effect the Empire put forward.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There is much to Crossbow could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I am unconvinced that Crossbellians hold the same pride and conviction that the Liberians do. Oh my god. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to an end. It's almost slipped my mind. Don't expect medals. Don't expect medals from the Imperial government. The nobility become even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Well, that was definitely different. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such a good mood. What? Are you kidding me? He seems to have taken a liking to you. I understand it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I suggest you accept what he has to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position. I'm sweating, are you? Such a relief to be out of there, good God. Can't be serious. That man's a damned monster. Right. Well, we have to take we have to take his perspective and what it is, not let it affect us. Hey Tio, are you okay?
Yes, I'll be fine.
I'm not. My brain's currently dying.
The imagery he was describing was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded, was all.
Yeah, I'm Tio right now. I can't blame you. It was like I could feel the flames he was describing breathing down my neck. Calling him the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster is putting it lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbow in the palm of his hand. Maybe, but I'm not convinced that he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. Same goes for the President Rocksmith. I think they're interested in. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Let's take it for what it's been, a learning experience. That's one way to put it. That's one way to look at it. I think this is an aspect of that we can all learn from. You're telling me. Leave it to Lloyd to see the glass half full. But he's right. There's no use in letting it slow us down.
Of course there isn't. We can use this moving forward.
Now that the intermission is over, our next step is obvious. Let's head back to Dudley and report how the conversation went. Teleport? I think teleport and cutscene. Just as Mr. Grimwood had predicted, the discourse became more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith continued to raise questions after questions aimed at Crossbill's security in the future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Mayor Cross and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. Oh boy. The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, no less. Furthermore, half of Crossbell's State Guard fell under their control. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I'd thought we had already fully covered those details. The details are not with what is in question. It is the quality of your state's crisis management that we're concerned about. You cannot deny the lives and the property of the Imperial citizens were threatened during the incident. What do you have to say to that?
Hold on just a moment, Chancellor.
He is intense.
Reparation procedures already took place regarding the cult incident. Asking for further mirror on top of it only serves to cast Erebonia in an unfavorable light.
Mirror is not the issue either, Your Highness. Crossbell state government has still yet to answer how it can guarantee true security. There is a need to protect the lives and property, and the economic interests are all those in and tied to Crossbell. Is such protection guaranteed by the state consistently in a political gridlock and My brain is turning off completely. He uses
Is
too
such
many big
protection
words.
guaranteed from a state constantly in particular gridlock and susceptible to top-down corruption?
Thank you, Clary.
Welcome.
This is you as well.
Pardon me, but I heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has been shown capable of correcting itself. Wouldn't a new security system suffice? I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't think it would be that easy? Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck you. With that said, I of course know that Mayor Cross and Speaker McDowell here are outstanding statesmen. However, what will happen to Crossbell without them? How quickly will things regress without their leadership?
Corruption exists in every form of government. That is not true of only Crossbell, but of my kingdom as well. That taken into consideration, would it not be the best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that it is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be hopeful. However, Crossbell is much different than a monarchy such as Liberal. It is easily to undermine the political system. It is easy to undermine the political system of somewhere that has no central or traditional authority. History has proven that time and time again. Oh my god. That may be true, but
If I may, my country also does not have a monarchy, but an honorable republic charter. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolutions 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows our system can survive and improve, even if it may at times too be stricken with corruption.
so you say, but it is not as though our autonomous state of law isn't without its own pride and honor. It's true that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. However, so too is it that we have been improving upon them slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how many additional laws and oh my god,
How many additional laws and
amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the last 10 years? But of course, I do not have the exact figure in front of me, however. I would estimate 50 in total.
Just 50 in 10 years? I'm surprised. That's an average of only 5 a year.
Perhaps, though the rate has been increasing in recent years. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but admittedly many of those pertained to additions in finance and the establishment of the Orbital network. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume that a meaningful new security framework would be implemented quickly. As I suspected, it would be wiser to seek an alternative solutions in the interim.
I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I hadn't realized the two of you had become such good chums. Would you care to also settle the territorial dispute over the North Highlands today while you're at it?
Nice.
Point well taken, Your Highness.
You've had to leave discussing that for another day.
Time is growing short, gentlemen. I'd advise we move on to other proposals.
Very well. Then, as proposed by His Excellency, let's review. This is bad.
It is exactly like Mr. Green would want us it would be.
The Blood and Iron Chancellor and the President are going knives out on Crossbill right now. Is there nothing the Mayor or the Speaker can say in objection? They're right that Crossbill state laws have several structural flaws. That's making it harder for grandfather and uncle to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but those flaws were built into Crossbill by the major powers during its founding 70 years ago. They're using that to their advantage to force their unreasonable demands. There are scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning.
As I told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we made it through today.
Yeah, sorry about that. In any case, should we begin another
This is Dudley, 1st Division. Emma? Has something... What?
What's going on? Something must have happened.
The Red Constellation and Higher are both on the move. They've already shaken
I know.
They've already shaken our surveillance. Fuck.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's getting late. No way. What?
Don't panic. We knew this would happen. Stay alert. I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments.
Understood. Oh, auto-scrolling.
Oh. We should begin mobilizing our blah 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 blah. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, it's okay.
Couldn't catch it.
Damn, this is really going down, huh? What the hell are they planning?
Randy.
Try to keep your cool, Randy. We knew the Red Constellation isn't the real threat. Right. The brunt of the police force is protecting the entrance to the building. They can't possibly be hoping for a fight like that, can they? Everything we know says they're unlikely to them. That's unlikely. Them moving isn't good news, though. Oh God. Elderly voice. What was that you just said? What's going on down there? Grandfather? Your Excellency, what was it you just said? My apologies, but would you please repeat yourself? I gladly say it as many times as you like. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force, and in its place have the security forces of your other countries permitted station in Crossbell. That is the most logical course of action. Please, wait a moment. Surely you're not forgetting the terms in the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osborne? Of course not. We agreed not to use force to solve disputes in or over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. I am merely stating the obvious. Useless. Pseudo military organization that loses control and threatens its own people's lives should be disbanded. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential. Thank you. When placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies, in front of a true tanks, the CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper. To say nothing of the drain on Crossberian Mira it costs to maintain, leave matters to state security to foreign military forces. I don't like it when you make that face. Stop making the face. That is the best and most cost-effective solution for the Mira Autumnus territory. Oh my god. This is you.
I think that is far too radical of an option. And just how do you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Are you suggesting that it be the Imperial Army?
I don't recall saying that. Then again, I'm willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's assistance if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Zemuria, wouldn't you say? Kah.
Okay, settle down everyone, there is no reason to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit drastic.
A bit?
A bit. A bit, you say?
Yeah, just a little? Just a tad?
However, I share his opinion that the CGF leaves much to be desired and is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security.
Wow. Oh. What would you propose then?
This is only a suggestion, but I would propose beginning with mass reduction of Guardian Force and Roman levels.
Jesus, what?
In exchange, Calvert will assume responsibility for Tangram Gate, and Aragonia can do the same for Belgon Gate. That way, both armies will be able to respond to emergency even here in Crossbell City.
So they just don't want Crossbell to have an army at all?
Yeah. Isn't that no better, Mr. President?
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. It's a worthy consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off starch political opposition.
Not compared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles.
Oh. This can't be happening.
I've heard enough. You're aware there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference, yes?
Yeah. Go, Oliver. Pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a little sidetracked. Still, the direction of this conversation is obvious. Would you two mind giving your opinions on the idea? Ugh. Oh my god. Ugh. That's terrible.
I've said it's more like it.
It takes some serious balls to say any of this with a straight face. I hate to say it, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Still, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. This might be the part where we hoped they could hold out just a little bit longer. Now of all times, it could be Dudley. Banning's here. Hey, it's Sir Guy. Chief Sir Guy, what's going on? No time, I'll keep it short. Saria just called me. Radar trackers near Targum Gate and Baldar Gate were destroyed? And the same ones being used for the anti-air radar to detect any potential invading ships in Crossbell's airspace. What? She suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. I'll tell you what I told him. Be careful and then get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them. It was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Oh boy. Regarding your concerns over security measures, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh. Oh shit. I accidentally skipped that. I'm sorry.
Let's hear it. What do you suggest?
Very well. I was thinking.
方々、下がられよ。
Everyone get down. Oh boy, this is the attack.
Oh no.
What? Airships? That's some bulletproof glass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is you?
There's no way. Is it the terrorist? They came all the way here?
Don't
Christ,
worry.
please don't say that.
Don't worry. The windows are bulletproof, tempered glass. We'll be safe. I'd ask that you all make it all back away from the window. Ooh.
Are you alright, Your Highness?
Yes, I'm fine. That airship just now was a high-speed Renford model.
Yes, there was no mistaking it.
The other was a Venru Company military guild ship. Right, that aligns with the reports one having been stolen.
皆さんご無事ですか
Oh, this is
Is
you.
everyone alright?
Dudley just coming in. Yes, thank the goddess.
Oh Jesus, stop bringing in the goddess. Let me introduce you to Jesus Christ. You can say his name in vain.
Never mind that. Where did they go? Good. You should be able to hear me now. Conference attendees, allow me to introduce ourselves. Imagine this is C. We're the G, maybe? We're the Imperial Liberation Front.
Comrade.
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 We represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and security of our beloved Calvert. What?
Oh, that was the prince? I didn't
It
know
was,
he had
yeah, I
a
accidentally
model.
said that.
Oh no, I didn't know he had a model to it.
The two terrorist groups active in the Empire and Republic. We have formed an alliance to topple our respective enemies. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gileath Osborne. President Rocksmith, you've met your end. To protect the traditions of our Calvard.
To protect the living and the truth and love. I would never forget the fucking Team Rocket. It's so fitting, honestly.
It is actually. Now that you say it, I kind of want to do it in the James voice. To protect the traditions of our Calvard. To unite our nations.
See? It fits!
Surrender now, or prepare to fight.
Mm-hmm. How foolish.
Ugh, utter nuisance.
Yeah, but this isn't looking too good. Here they come. This is so sensible. Come on.
Dun, dun. Yeah, I recognize the black airship. Look at that. Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
So they're wearing the same getup. One of these is G. Just one of them. Who it is, we don't know.
They're heading straight for us?
Yeah.
Damn it. That was why those blueprints were there. Regardless, we need to have the CGF unit on standby move.
What?
What? What is it this time? Huh? How many fuck-ups do we have now?
Oh no. What the heck? Why would it... What is happening? Uh-oh. Not good. There's no response from the panel. Ugh. What in Adios's name is going on?
Hey, what about my scoop? Do something, Reigns.
Jesus. What am I supposed to do, Grace? Woman. Chill.
Please. This is what. Honestly, this is why I hate a lot of reporters and journalists and just the media in general. Because she's basically them.
This is far from ideal.
August House system must be under their control. It is likely the work of the hacker from yesterday.
We have to move. Let's get to the 35th floor and protect the dignitaries. Roger. If the elevator
oh yeah, that's you.
Yeah, sorry, I just was like breathing, and like my brain needed a second to like realize it was Randy talking. If the elevator is out,
these guys not that close.
Then we gotta head for the emergency stairs. Okay, saving. I think we might cliffhang it here. What do you say?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, a lot's happened and I'm dead. Oh. How are you feeling?
Oh, drain.
Well, I hope you like the cliffhanger. We'll have to find out what happens next time.
Lovely.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna chill out and have some ice cream. I feel like I need to take a cold shower and splash some cold water on my face. One of those. I'm gonna do the splash the water on the face. I think that sounds better. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the conclusion.
Oh, God.
It's gonna be good. Tune in next time to see what happens. Bye!